My name is Adam Oshiomhole. I am elected to represent the great people of Edo North in Edo State.
My name is Clair-Motion. I represent the people of Kogi West.
I thank you for making it possible for me to be a member of the Public Accounts Committee. And I want to assure you that in all my actions, I bear in mind the fact that it is through your privilege that I am a member of any committee. And I will do nothing that will be a source of embarrassment either to Mr. President as the presiding officer of these hallowed chambers, or indeed to any of my colleagues.
I want to thank my brother, Senator Buhari, for bringing this important motion. Mr. President, the issue of kidnapping and banditry is a big problem that is trying to bring down this nation. And when it happens, we tend to blame it on the federal government alone. On Monday, at early hours of Monday morning, this same bandit entered a community in my senatorial district, Ayedon Bono, and they kidnapped about 28 people. In fact, it's a daily occurrence in my state.
I thought it is settled in law that before decisions are taken, when allegations have been made, but the other side is heard. The least I expect from my distinguished colleague with whom we are laboring together to discharge our obligation is that before conclusions are taken, before motions are raised, I should be properly accused if there is an allegation against me to speak to it. Between yesterday and today, nobody has said anything to me. I am not aware that this Senate makes decisions on the basis of edited reports. And for me, sir, it will be a sad day if what is reported form the basis of Senate decision and not the entire gamut of the procedures. In that committee, we have a principal officer of the Senate, Senator Wabui. He's seated there.
But we cannot talk much. My point is, the federal government proposed issue of state police and also forestry guard. We have not been able to put that into action in terms of bringing it into law. But the enormous funding going into our state government lately, state governments all over the country, they have to be involved in funding of equipping our security forces and allowing local government to work.
I am not the mover of the motion to issue bench warrant. I notice that it is only my name that is put here. And I think I do understand why it is what I said that is singled out. Number two, I hold the view and I've done my best to defend our collective image. And I am shocked that the House leader referred to my reactions and not what I was reacting to. Could I just be walking on the street? For many of you know me, I have never been a guest for psychiatric evaluation. We sat there on your orders to invite the NNPC to explain the numbers that amounts to about 210 trillion naira. And he has been invited over and over and over, about 9 times, as enumerated by distinguished Senator Nwaboyi, a principal officer of this house. And in all this whole 9 invitation, Melekeri, former group managing director, refused to show up. And the guy who spoke yesterday, the former chief financial officer, he was invited to explain the audit. I think it's an opportunity, Mr. President, to remind us that what you ask us to do in accordance with the provisions of the Nigerian Constitution is that NNPC auditors, not Senate auditors, NNPC approved auditors submitted a report that shows that they have not accounted for 210 trillion naira. I use the word accounted for. This is not my findings. They transferred this report to the Office of the Auditor General of the Federation in accordance with the extra provisions of the Nigerian Constitution.
Because there are so many ungoverned spaces all over the nation. Local government administration are not allowed to work. If they are working, just like the Chief of Defense Staff told us during the explaining here, that if local government administration are allowed to work, it will reduce ungoverned spaces in this nation. So we must bring about local government to run, and our state governments must be involved by funding, equipping our security forces. Look at, if we have drones all over the nation, funded by state government, even if it is just surveillance drone, that is going to help a lot. Even state government can even go into attack drones. But we are leaving all this, we are blaming everything on the federal government. There is need for the state governments to also be involved in ending this insecurity. Thank you.
The office of the Accountant General of the Federation referred this to the Public Accounts Committee between the previous chairman and the current chairman. These people have been invited several times and we did not have the benefit of seeing them. So yesterday, taking this background into account, the former immediate past finance officer or financial controller of NNPC was asked to speak to the audit report, not Oshiomhole's report, to explain, because the auditors appointed by them, not appointed by me, says that they did not account for 310 trillion naira. DJ Thomas stood there and was attacking the integrity of the Senate. And that is why, even if the whole world condemn me and God uphold me, I am free. And I will be faithful to my duties. Now we ask him to take the oath based on the procedures not established by me, rather than speak to the issue of 210 trillion. He said something like this: no money is missing. Distinguished Senator Ogu, you are my very good friend. I would like the benefit or even the privilege of Mr. President hearing my side before I am crucified. He said to us, make your own colleague, the people you found worthy and fit to man the Public Account Committee. He said to our face, Mr. Chairman of the Senate Committee on Public Account and Senators, you, that is the senators, do not have the monopoly of patriotism. And we talk about NNPC as if we are the only patriot. He went on. It is you, senators, who recommend your children for employment into the NMPC. And he went on and on and on, attacking each and every member of that committee. And at that point, I said, please, Mr. Chairman, let him stop. I am shocked that the highly respected leader of the Senate did not refer to...
Yes, point of order.